before Felda, life in the countryside was full of struggle and silence. Many had to leave their village and move to big city, which became crowded and heavy with people searching for a better life. In the old days, rural families worked on weak, empty farms that could barely feed them. There were no stable jobs, no chances, and no land that could cool their own. This was the world before Felda, a world where thousands of Malaysians were left behind. And from this pain came a dream to build a new home, new farm, and new hope for the people who deserve a second chance.
Now, I will talk about the importance of nation building in Malaysia and how one of the key initiatives, which is Felda, has played a major role in shaping the country's social and economic development. Nation building is crucial for any developing country, especially for a nation as diverse as Malaysia. With different races, ethnicities, and religions, Malaysia needed stronger strategies to unite its people and ensure equal growth after gaining independence in 1957. At that time, the government focused on reducing poverty, narrowing the gap between rural and urban communities, and creating fair opportunities for all citizens, regardless of their background. One of the major steps taken was the establishment of the Federal Land Development Authority, or Felda, in 1956. Felda was designed to tackle issues like unemployment, landlessness, and low income among rural residents. Its main goals were to raise rural income and improve the quality of life for communities living outside urban areas. In other words, Felda was not just a development program, it was an important nation-building tool that aimed to uplift rural population and strengthen Malaysia's economy. Over the decade, Felda has made a significant impact through agricultural development and modernization. It has helped reduce poverty and provided thousands of families with stable income opportunities. Felda settlement became a symbol of unity, where communities worked together, improved their living standard, and contributed to national growth. Because of this success, successive Malaysian Prime Minister continued to support the Felda program as part of the country's long-term development policy. Felda's achievement in strengthening the national economy, uniting Malaysian, and advancing the agriculture sector show how valuable it has been in nation building. However, in recent years, Felda has faced several challenges. Issues like financial mismanagement, governance problem, and declining interest in agricultural careers, especially among the younger generation, and raised concern about the sustainability of the program. These challenges highlight the need for reform to ensure Felda remain relevant and continue contributing to Malaysia's economic stability and agricultural development. In conclusion, although Felda has played an important role in Malaysia's nation-building journey, it must adapt to current challenges to ensure its mission continue for future generations.
Abdul Razak bin Datuk Hussein was born on 11 March of 1922 in Pekan, Pahang. He was the eldest child of Datuk Hussein bin Muhammad Talib and Teh Fatimah binti Daud. Although he came from a royal family, Tun Razak was known for being humble, simple, and caring toward the people. He was raised mostly by his grandfather, who taught him about religion, discipline, and moral values. From a young age, he learned the importance of honesty and service to others. When he saw many poor families struggling in rural Pahang, it touched his heart deeply. He realized that many Malays were living in poverty with limited access to education and land. Because of this, he made it his life goal to help the poor and to build a fair society for everyone. This strong sense of care later influenced many of his national development plans. When he became the Malaysia's second Prime Minister, he worked hard to bring progress to the rural population. His compassion and leadership eventually led to the creation of Felda, which helped thousands of poor families start a better life. Now, moving on to his educational background. Tun Abdul Razak started his study at the Malay College Kuala Kangsar, or MCKK, in 1934. At MCKK, he learned English, leadership, and teamwork. The school focused on building character, and this helped shape him into a confident and responsible young man. In 1940, he continued his study at Raffles College in Singapore, one of the top institutions at that time. However, his education was stopped because of the Japanese occupation during World War II. After the war, he went to London to continue his studies in law at Lincoln Inns, one of the oldest law school in England. He graduated as an Arthur barrister in 1950, becoming one of the first Malays to do so. This education gave him deep knowledge about law, justice, and good governance. It also opened his mind to how a nation could progress to a fair policies and equal opportunities. When he returned to Malaya, he used this knowledge and values to serve the people and plan Malaysia's development with fairness and vision. So, about his political involvement, during his studies in Britain, Tun Abdul Razak was actively involved in the Kesatuan Melayu Great Britain, where he promoted Malay unity and independence. Early in his political career, he became the Deputy President of UMNO in 1951 and served as Assistant State Secretary of Pahang. At the age of 33, he became the youngest Chief Minister of Pahang and won a seat in Malaysia's first general election, demonstrating the trust of the people. He later became Malaysia's first education minister and played a key role in drafting the Razak report, which laid the foundation for the national education system in 1956. He represented Malaysia in the London mission seeking independence. And after independence in 1957, he served as Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister. He also held the portfolio of Minister of National and Rural Development, during which he created the Red Book and Green Book to Rural and Agriculture Development. Finally, in 1970, Tun Abdul Razak became the Malaysia's second Prime Minister, leaving a lasting legacy as a nation builder, education reformer, and champion of rural development.
After Malaysia gained independence in 1957, the country faced many challenges such as poverty, rural underdevelopment, and economic imbalance among races. In these crucial years, one leader played a major role in transforming the nation, Tun Abdul Razak, known as Bapa Pembangunan and the Father of Development. In 1971, Tun Abdul Razak introduced the New Economic Policy or NEP. This policy was created after the racial riots of 1969, which highlighted deep economic inequalities. The goals of NEP were simple but powerful: reduce poverty for all Malaysians and restructure society so that economic activities were no longer divided by race. NEP helped lift millions out of poverty, grew the middle class, and created more opportunity for the Bumi Putra community to participate in business, education, and professional field. Thanks to NEP, Malaysia moved closer towards unity and economic stability. In 1965, Tun Abdul Razak transformed RIDA into MARA, an agency designed to support Bumi Putra development in education and entrepreneurship. Under his leadership, MARA grew quickly. Institutions such as MRSM, MARA College, UniKL, and later UiTM become platform to develop skilled professionals. MARA also provides scholarship and loans. Since 1966, it has funded over 500,000 students, helping them become engineers, doctors, architects, and accountants, and more. One of the Tun Abdul Razak's most impactful contributions was the creation of Felda. He saw that many rural Malays live in poverty with no land or stable income. His solution was visionary: give land to the poor, help them farm it, and support them to build a better life. In 1958, the first Felda settlement opened in Lurah Bilu. Each family received a land, a house, and support to grow crops like rubbers and palm oil. But Tun Abdul Razak believed that development was more than just giving a land. He ensured that the settlers had schools so that the children could get a proper education, a clinic for healthcare accesses, and basic facilities to improve quality of life. Many Felda children grew up to become lawyers, professionals, and successful leaders. This showed the long-term impact of Tun Abdul Razak's vision. Through the NEP, MARA, and Felda, Tun Abdul Razak transformed Malaysia's economics and social landscape. His idea reduced poverty, expanded education, and gave opportunities to generation of Malaysian. That's all. Thank you.
The challenges faced by Tun Abdul Razak in building Felda. The first one is Malaysia got limited financial resources. Why? Because Felda is all about rural development, especially in terms of agriculture and also farming sector. However, it demands huge investments to make it happen because it involves development activities like clearing forests, providing housing and also giving settlers land. So, during that time, Malaysia does not have that much financial resources, so it might be difficult for the government to make it happen. Therefore, the government got no choice but to make foreign loan with the World Bank. Next, the second challenge is infrastructure and also accessibility issues. Unreachable land areas like in Pahang, Negeri Sembilan and also Johor were chosen because these places are unoccupied and also suitable for agriculture sector. However, these places got very little basic necessities like basic road access, transportation systems and also utilities like clean water, electricity and also basic medical facilities, which will make it difficult for the settlers that will move there permanently to live. So, without these basic necessities, it will be hard for the development project to continue and the outcome of the progress will be much more inefficient. Therefore, the government need to settle this issue, which is to provide the basic facilities first. Only then the government can continue with the development project. Next, the third challenge is political and also public pressure. After the racial riot happened on May 16, 1969, the process of negotiating with one another among citizens become crucial and also slower because the tension after the conflict remains. This results in delayed implementations and also slower management issues. Consequently, there was a strong pressure that Tun Abdul Razak need to face as he needed to use the Felda not only for rural development but also as a tool to eradicate poverty and enhancing national unity among Malaysians. All of these objectives goes under the national economic policy.
In the early years of Malaysia, many families from rural areas live in poverty with little land and limited income. Felda was created to give this family a new beginning. Poor villagers were moved into new developed settlement where each family received a land, a home and support to start fresh. Felda transformed an empty land into a rubber and palm oil plantation, where it created a stable job opportunity and improving income. By 1985, Felda had developed over 300 schemes, covering over 762,000 hectares and helping more than 106,000 families to escape poverty. Originally created to help poor farmers, Felda later grew into rural major development effort that brought roads, clinic, school and training center into many underserved areas. For many families, Felda turned their struggle into stability and gave a real chance for a better future. Felda's impact was not only focused on economic, it also brought Malaysians closer together. Settlers from different states and backgrounds lived side by side in the same communities, working on the same land and sharing the same challenges. This daily cooperation helped in building friendship, respect, and a strong sense of togetherness. Felda settlements became a place where unity grew naturally, which is reflecting the values of Rukun Negara. National leaders recognized this impact. Prime Minister, which is Anwar Ibrahim, praised Felda settlers for lifting themselves out of poverty and helping in strengthening Malaysian unity. Over time, Felda community became a symbol of harmony, showing that when people are live and grow together, a strong national identity is built. As Malaysia continued to develop, Felda have shifted its focus to building human capital, which is the skill and ability of its people. Scholarship, vocational training and education help the younger generation to enter modern careers and achieve a greater success. Many children of settlers went on to become a teachers, engineer and business owner. It's showing how education can change a rural community. Felda also embraced modernization through Settler Development Program with a partnership with Ministry of Rural and Regional Development. Settlers have received digital training and business support. But Felda didn't stop there. In recent years, it joined national effort to bring digital access and modern infrastructure into the rural area. Through this smart partnership, the authority pledges to expand their network coverage. It helped in ensuring Felda and other rural communities are not left out of 5G connectivity. With better internet access, settlers now have a tool to embrace the digital economy, start online business, and access global information. It bridging the gap between rural and urban life. Felda journey show how traditional agricultural program can transform into modern engine of opportunity, education, and growth.
Felda is more than just a land development authority. It is a story of resilience, leadership, and nation building. By focusing on 3 key areas recommendation, which are income diversification, infrastructure development, and community engagement, Felda can continue to strengthen Malaysia's journey in nation building. So the first recommendation is Felda should diversify its source of income. As for today, Felda relies heavily on the palm oil, but Malaysia itself depends too much on the food import. This creates the weaknesses for the nation in order to achieve the development. So Felda can diversify its source of income by expand into agro-food production sector. By the expansion to a wider variety of crops, Felda will be able to reduce that dependence, create new income stream, and also contributing in strengthening a national food security. This directly supports the Sustainable Development Goal number 2, which named as Zero Hunger. In doing so, diversification becomes not just an economic strategy, but a contribution to nation building, empowering rural communities, and narrowing a urban and rural gap in Malaysia. Strengthening the infrastructure is the second recommendation, as reflected in the challenge. Infrastructure challenge being one of the key that always hinder development in Malaysia. Infrastructure is the one of the backbone of rural development and a pillar of a nation building. Road, facilities, and digital connectivity are not just conveniences, but they are lifelines. Better road improve access to market, while high-speed internets allow settlers to join digital economy. Modern infrastructure also ensure resilience against challenges, while fostering cohesion and sustainable growth that strengthen the nation as a whole. As for the last recommendation for Felda in contributing in nation development is strengthening community engagement. So Felda origins always reflect Tun Abdul Razak's achievement-oriented leadership, which launched transformative policy. While effective, this style always limit the stakeholder input. As for today, nation building requires participation. By involving settlers in planning through consultation and citizen assemblies, Felda can ensure that communities shape the program that affects their life. This builds trust, strengthens the social cohesion, and empowers settlers to contribute directly to the nation development. In this way, Felda evolved from a leader-driven model into participatory one, enhancing stability and unity across Malaysia. All in all, these 3 pillars, which is diversified income, modern infrastructure, and engaged communities, will form Felda to lasting contribution to nation building. As for the conclusion, we can conclude that Tun Abdul Razak's vision through Felda changed the path of Malaysia nation building by giving housing, land, and farming opportunities that lift out the rural families out of poverty and brought diverse community together in unity. Although the journey faced several challenges such as limited fund, poor infrastructure, and political tension after May 13, Felda proved to be a bold project built on a resilience and compassion. Today, its legacy continues as Malaysia adapts the framework to the modern needs by diversifying income beyond palm oil, improving connectivity, and encouraging community participation. Felda stands as a lasting legacy of Tun Abdul Razak's vision, proving that rural empowerment can build unity, resilience, and stronger Malaysia for generations to come.